Now, leading into nuclear calculations, let's consider a calculation of how many atoms are in a substance. So you have an ordinary house key made of iron. It has a mass of 7.9 grams, and you want to calculate the number of atoms, individual atoms of iron, that make up that key. So then we really just start with one number, mass of 8.9 grams. So let's consider one way to be able to calculate the number of atoms. If I start with 8.9 grams, well, we're going to have to look up a couple of additional numbers to be able to do this calculation. So we're going to have to refer to a periodic table. So let's take a minute and pull up a periodic table. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit and let's see. We've got iron right there, Fe, and the number we need from there is the atomic mass. So I'm going to note this, atomic mass of iron 55.845. So let's get rid of our window there. Now that mass we can interpret two different ways. This is the mass of one atom in atomic mass units, or we can also interpret this as 55.845 grams is the mass of 1 mole of atoms, and 1 mole of atoms is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. And so we've got two different interpretations of that, and we're going to do two different ways of calculating the atoms. I'm going to move my mass down a little bit so I have a little bit more room. So if we start with 8.9 grams, I'm going to use our molar mass interpretation first of all. That I can convert into a number of moles. In other words, 55.845 grams is the mass of 1 mole, and then 1 mole, that's an M, 1 mole is equivalent to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. So that gets us immediately going across our calculation to a number of atoms, and we get 9.59 times 10 to the 22nd atoms in the iron of an ordinary house key. Now let's consider another way to do that calculation. So this is an either or. I'm just giving you two different ways to think about it. If we start with our 8.9 grams, okay, and we go through the atomic mass units. Well, first thing we're going to have to do is convert this to kilograms. 1,000 grams are equivalent to 1 kilogram. And once we're in kilograms, we can convert to atomic mass units because we know 1.66 times 10 to the negative 27 kilograms is equivalent to 1 atomic mass unit. One more step. Now we're in atomic mass units, and we know how many atomic mass units there are for 1 atom of iron. 55.845 atomic mass units is equivalent to 1 atom of iron. Going through the calculation here, we get 9.6 times 10 to the 22nd atoms. So plus or minus just a little bit of rounding, you get the same value. So whichever way is more logical for you to think about, there are different ways to be able to get the number of atoms in an object. Ponder physics.